I'm being very ambitious. I'm going live on Instagram. And hello. So I did say I was going to come on here, give you a life update, and also just 5 fun facts about me. I don't know if you would find them fun or not, but I do. I just wanted to have a chance to be able to connect a little bit with all of you, a little bit more actually, because I know I've been off the online radar for a little bit now. So just wanted to come on here, say hello, and let you in on what's been going on outside of my online world. So, first off, I'm Yentel, and I am a dietitian and also a certified mental health professional. And one of the reasons why I wanted to come on here and also do some 5 fun facts is because I have a fellow dietitian that she actually just passed the exam. So she's officially a registered dietitian now. And it's Jamie from Your Healthy Happy RD. She tagged me a while ago to give some 5 fun facts about me. And I'm talking about like probably a couple months back. It was a while ago. And I am just now getting to it. So this is for you too, Jamie. So one of the facts, as I've already mentioned, I'm a dietitian and a certified mental health professional. I got my bachelor's in both. I got a double bachelor's in psychology and nutrition and dietetics, and I have a master's in mental health counseling. And I have been practicing holistic nutrition for 10 years now. So you're getting to know my age probably a little bit. So, and that's not really the fun fact. Actually, the fun fact about that is how I got into nutrition in the first place. So I actually got into it because originally I wanted to study culinary arts. I love cooking. And more so than that, I love to eat. I love trying all different types of foods. I like exploring my taste buds and being able to recreate some of the delicious meals that I have tried in other places at home. And I actually got into nutrition whenever I used to watch the Food Network all the time. I don't have cable anymore, just use Netflix and Hulu now. But I used to watch Alton Brown from, I think it's called Good Eats. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember anymore. But he used to, in his show, he used to talk about the history of food and talk about also the nutrients and the science behind the recipes that he would make. And I was intrigued. I said, hey, not only does food taste good, but there's so much about food that is powerful. So that's how I got into nutrition. And I wanted to combine that also with mental health, because actually mental health is an aspect of our health that is often overlooked. We can so easily, when we talk about getting healthy, first thing people think about is exercise, changing the way I eat, trying to look a certain way. And it's so much more than that. And anytime you go to a doctor as well, and I have much respect for doctors, this is not a bashing for doctors at all. Anytime you go to the doctor, only certain aspects of you are looked at, or it's compartmentalized. And you get referred to different specialists, but very few times is the mental health aspect addressed. And there's such a huge mind-body connection, which is one of the main reasons why I got into both nutrition and psychology. So the second fun fact about me is actually I am Latina. And the reason why it's a fun fact is because it is a surprise to so many people when they see me. And it's actually a surprise to me when it's a surprise to fellow Latinas or Latinos. So my mom is from Guatemala and my dad is from Venezuela. And I speak Spanish and English fluently. However, this accent is not really necessarily a Spanish accent. It's a Miami accent. Just like there's a New York accent and there's an accent for people from Chicago usually. That's the stereotypical accent. Well, you're hearing the Miami accent. So yes, I am a Latina, and I actually, that's another thing that has shaped me into moving away from the standards that the world puts on us. Because, like I said, it's a surprise to people when they look at me, because they think, well, you're not the stereotypical Latina look. You don't look Latina. And it's funny to me, because the standard that most people think of Latinos and Latinas is the standard that's put on by Hollywood. Hollywood makes you believe that there's a certain look to people who are Latinos, and there isn't. The beauty of Latinos is that we have all different shapes, colors. I mean, we don't have a stereotypical look. But just as an example, think of Giselle Bundchen. Like, she's tall, slender, blonde, blue eyes, fair-skinned. And then there's Celia Cruz, who's got the beautiful darker skin, curly hair, dark eyes. So there's no stereotypical look to Latinos, which is what led me also in my practice to not hold anyone to any standards of what is healthy or what healthy looks like. I believe in health at every size. And I teach that, and I am adamant about it with my clients, with the people that I work with, because there is no set look for what is fit and what is healthy, because someone can seem to look like they're healthy based on what the standards tell you healthy should look like. So that is another fun fact about me, how it's shaped me into what I do now. And the third thing is that I am the senior chapter officer of the Orlando Bloggers chapter of the Blogger Union. Say that 3 times fast. So what that means is, first of all, the Blogger Union is actually a community of bloggers that's recognized nationally and internationally, that we come together in kind collaboration. That's what our motto is. And actually, the Blogger Union started in South Florida. So, as I mentioned, I have a Miami accent. I was born and raised in Miami, but my husband and I recently moved to the Orlando area. We bought a home here. So, when I say recently, it was in October of last year. So it wasn't too long ago. And that's one of the things that has been keeping me busy outside of the online world, is moving to a new city, getting our house in order. As you can see, this is my office. I still don't have anything done on the walls, don't have anything up on the walls or anything like that. It's still work in progress. So it's what's been keeping me busy here, along also with the Orlando Bloggers chapter. I started that together with my co-chapter officer, Jasmine, and you can find her at Jasmine's Voyage. If you'd like to follow her, she's a travel blogger. We started this thing together here in October. So just 2 weeks after I moved here, we had our first meetup in Orlando with the Orlando Bloggers. And we have meetups every month. The meetups are about different topics around blogging. And we do this in a spirit of working together instead of in competition of each other. That's why we say it's collaboration, not competition. And I love this motto so much, because not just in the blogging world, because in the blogging world, we mention it as there could be other people who also blog about the same thing, same topic that you blog about, but they don't have your voice, and vice versa. You have your own unique experiences, your own unique story to tell. So the way that you tell it is going to be so different, and it's going to reach a different group of people. So the people that you reach is not going to be the same people that I reach, and vice versa. And I find that that motto is so beautiful because it's the same in life. We are our own worst critics, first of all, but we can see somebody else and compare ourselves and think, my life is not nearly as good as theirs is, or as great as theirs is. And every time we compare ourselves to somebody else, we're always at the short end of the stick. We're always the one who is worse off or not good enough. And that's why I wanted to start this chapter, the Orlando Bloggers chapter, here, because I love that spirit of spreading collaboration and doing so because together we can reach more people. Just like I said earlier, the people you can reach, I can't reach, but together we have a bigger audience and we can grow together. There's a quote that I love that I always mention in all of the meetups, and it is, "Alone we go fast, but together we go far." And that is why I've been working hard behind the scenes to really make this community grow here. And it really has grown, which is something that my co-chapter officer and I are just so blessed, feel so blessed that it has grown this much. And we're so grateful. We started with no members. We started from scratch, and now we have close to 200 members. And it's just been an amazing ride. So if you're in the Orlando area, do check out the Orlando Bloggers at the Orlando Bloggers. You should find us on Instagram and on Facebook. We have meetups every month. We have a meetup coming up this Saturday. It's August, but yeah, we're going to have a meetup coming up this Saturday. So do check us out. And if you go, I'd love to meet you in person. And then number 4, the fourth fun fact about me is that I am an elder millennial. So I was just introduced to this word, this phrase, or what have you, I want to say maybe last week. I don't know if any of you have heard of the comedian. It was the first time I heard of her. I believe her name is Eliza or Elisa. I'm probably butchering her name. She has a stand-up on Netflix. That's where my husband and I found her. If you're familiar with her, put a little ha-ha face or a little heart over here on Instagram if you've heard of her, if you've heard of the term elder millennial. So basically what that means is the millennial generation, they say that it starts around in the early 1980s. So I was born in the early 1980s, but because it's where it starts, you're kind of considered an elder in the generation. And because of being an elder in the generation, and it was in the early 1980s, I still remember using a landline, where a lot of the younger millennials are like, what the heck is that? Like, I remember using a landline up until even after high school. I mean, I was in college and we still had a landline, guys. Like, seriously. So I remember a lot of the things before social media, before smartphones, before we had the opportunity to do this. I mean, we didn't even have cameras on our phones, back in the 1980s. So, and 90s. So, because of that, this social media stuff is still a little new to me, actually very new to me. I just opened social media accounts 3 years ago, which is when I started my blog. And I am not used to it. I had this mentality before of, whoever I'm still in touch with, I either have their phone number, or we see each other often, but, I don't need to have all these friends in the internet that I don't connect with. And I was missing out on so much, that I know that there has to be a healthy balance between what you do on social media and then your real life. There has to be that balance for sure. But there's also such a beauty in this technology. I've been able to not only reconnect with friends that I have such fond memories with, I've been able to connect to new people from all over the world. I mean, seriously, I've connected with some soul sisters from London, and we keep in touch regularly. And if we met through social media, and I would not have been able to meet or connect with them if it wasn't for social media. So that is why also I wanted to start engaging and connecting with you more, because there are so many of you that I already connect so much with without even having, with just through small comments or through watching little bits and pieces of each other's lives, through pictures or just through inspirational quotes that you share or your stories. And it really is so empowering, and I definitely want to be part of that movement. I don't want to be left behind outside of the inspiration that all of you provide, because it definitely helps to make me a better person, and I want to be able to give back and to pay it forward to others, so that they too can feel that kindness that this world needs so very much. So I'm taking the stand of using social media for good, because we do see a lot of nonsense out there. We know that. But let's be the people who make the change. It's just like that famous quote that says, be the change that you want to see in the world. And that's exactly why I wanted to come on here as well. And I'll be coming on here more often. I'm actually planning to come on here every Wednesday at 8 to talk about different topics. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But before that, I want to mention my last fun fact, that now I can say I'm officially an entrepreneur. And here is something that I have to say about that. And my husband and I, actually, we both kind of cringe a little bit at the word entrepreneur, just because it kind of has been used very loosely and maybe inappropriately. I mean, I'm not meaning to put anybody down. Hear me out. I say this with love, but there are many people out there that use the word entrepreneur, but they haven't started their own business. They're still working for somebody else. So that, that doesn't mean you're an entrepreneur. Yes, maybe you are an affiliate for somebody, but there's a whole different ballgame when you're starting your own business. And like I said, I mean this with love and with a lot of respect. But yes, now that I said I'm officially an entrepreneur, I started my own mentoring business. So I've been, like I said, a dietitian, a holistic dietitian for 10 years now. And I am still working full-time for a company. However, I am going to start seeing my own clients as well. So I created a program called Prioritize You, where hardworking women can learn strategies to bust stress, boost their energy naturally, and achieve balance in the busy. And it's a great way for my fellow busy, hardworking women to learn how to feel good about taking care of themselves. That's why I mentioned earlier, too, that mental health is an aspect that is often overlooked. Stress is a huge factor that is very rarely addressed when it comes to our health. And it is actually one of the main reasons why a lot of things go haywire with our physical, mental, and emotional health. It affects so many things. I mean, it's what can lead to diabetes and high blood pressure, heart conditions. I mean, so many conditions that we think of it's only physical. Stress actually aggravates all of these things. And it is something that is very rarely addressed. So that is why, and especially in the 10 years of practice that I've had, it is really one of the most common things that comes up, and one of the things that has rarely been addressed before they have come to see me. And it's heartbreaking. And so that's why I want to be able to provide that help to others, especially women. And the reason why I focus and hone in on women is because, again, those standards that are put out there, the standards that are put on women, they're still very, very different than the standards that are put on men. There's still such a big disparity. We've come a long way, and I acknowledge that we have, and I'm grateful for how far we've come, but we still got a ways to go. There's still a huge disparity, and there are a lot of rules that society places on women, and a lot of pressure. And there's pressure that's coming from the outside, and then pressure that we end up putting on ourselves because of these ideas of who we think we should be or how we think we should handle things. We're kind of pressured to be everything to everyone at all times and not fall apart. And it's not realistic. And we have to also come back to taking care of us. There's no way we can fill other people's lives or take care of others if we are falling apart. So that's why I created this program called Prioritize You. It's an online program. So it's something that you can do from anywhere, which is also something that I wanted to provide. And the one-on-one services that I provide will still be there separately, but I wanted something to be able to reach the masses, reach more women so that they don't feel limited to their geographical location. They don't feel limited as, well, I can't necessarily take a plane to you kind of thing. So I did want to provide something that's accessible and something that's affordable and something that is doable. That it's done to where it can be done in the busiest of schedules. I did it with the busy woman in mind because I myself am a fellow busy woman. And you get one-on-one support, group support from me, one-on-one support. You get support from me, but you get, it's a group program. And it's a 6-week program. And I'll be opening enrollment for it sometime soon, which I will let you know. But this isn't only about me talking about my program. It was simply to come on here and say hello, let you know what I've been working on, why I've been absent for so long, why I haven't shown my face here in a while, and really just get to know you more, and you get to know me more, just have more of a connection with each other. And like I mentioned earlier, every Wednesday now at 8, I will be coming on here live. I'm not going to always talk about me. I am not comfortable with that. I don't know if you can tell, I'm really not comfortable with talking about myself. So I do want to be on here actually to help you and talk about well-being practices to help you and remind you to put you first. So if there are any topics that you'd like me to cover, whether it's nutrition, whether it's mental health and spiritual health, emotional health, whatever it is that you would like to talk more about or like me to share more about, especially information that you know is going to be sound. And I say that again with love. I do like that I see a movement to health, a movement to people wanting to be healthier and take better care of themselves. But there's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of information that really isn't rooted on self-love, that really isn't rooted on being mindful about your own health and finding what is healthy for you. So if you want sound information that you know is going to be intuitive for you, that you get to learn you're healthy, then let me know in the comments exactly what, not exactly if you don't know exactly, but any topics that you'd like to hear more about. Whether it's, you know, if there are certain diets that you want to know, hey, is this diet really healthy? You know, I am an anti-diet dietitian, but I am willing to talk about the truths and the science behind why these diets are out there and anything else that you'd like to know about them. So, yes. And speaking of which, I am going to talk about next week what that means being anti-diet and why that's important for everyone, not just, you know, a rebel with a cause. It really is. It's not just a movement. It is really more of what true holistic health is about. So I'm going to talk about that next week. But leave in the comments below anything that you'd like to know a little bit more about. Like I said, anything related to your health and to you and taking care of you. So thank you so much for watching, and tune in next week. Again, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I forgot to mention that. Sorry about that. So 8 p.m. Eastern time. And hope to see more of you as well, not just on here, but, you know, through our posts, through our comments, through the private messaging, whatever it is. I'd love to be able to connect with you a lot more. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.